We are live for the After Discussion, Season 5, Episode 8 for Ready to Love. X marks the spot. Oh, well, ho over there. Look at your little Christmas setup. I love it.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Tis the season.
Tis the season to be jolly.
Ha ha, I'm jolly. How is your Sunday going? It's kind of a slow Sunday. I think everybody's kind of feeling a little just like chillax today.
Absolutely. It's definitely a slow energy Sunday. I celebrated one of my best friend's birthdays today. That was really sweet. And that was nice. But other than that, I cooked a little dinner and I am just sleepy today.
Well, we are going to get you to bed after.
Must be that new moon.
Right. Oh, who you telling? That had me worn out. I slept 10 hours the other day.
Damn.
I know, I was knocked. So today was the same for me. I did laundry, washed my hair, did a face and hair mask, went to the gym. It was like one of those Sundays, which I actually enjoy. That's what Sunday's for, right?
Yeah, if you can. Absolutely.
I'm rocking my Aaliyah because we need a resolution. We need a resolution. Okay.
We need a resolution.
So much confusion. So Tommy Miles said it best in this episode. He's throwing the curveballs like he does best. Introduce your hope to be so you're not anymore. That was a really good. I was like, this is going to go down in this. So why don't we go in order with the dates? You know, I have it written down because without that, Lord have mercy.
Lord have mercy.
There was a lot going on in this episode. It was a little bit all over the place, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. They did a really good job putting together what they had. So we're starting with Camille and Cornelius. I just put corn on my paper, so I'm just having a hard time.
I put corny on mine. Yeah. Corny and Cam.
Corny and Cam. Mm-hmm. I have to give it to Camille. Her answers were bomb. They were spot on. It reminded me of a lot of things that probably would come to mind if I was answering those questions. You know, honestly, what did you think about how she answered the questions when the ex was asking about everything?
I thought she did a fantastic job as well. I think it's the first time that I saw her just dropped into herself authentically and speaking from like her heart. And I'm hesitating with what I'm saying because I don't want to say that what she's done in the past on this show hasn't been coming from her heart. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to watch my words. I just think that she seemed her age, grounded and articulate and mature, and she looked beautiful. It was like the best experience that I've personally had from Camille since her initial interview. The introducing us to her on the show. It was a nice little throwback to, authenticity.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. And it also helped that Cornelius's ex was very level-headed too. She didn't come with any energy that I felt was too off-putting or crazy questions or anything that would have really made Camille feel some kind of way, because that could have been a mess. If that girl would have been a little too uneven keeled or, off, Camille, I just might have been different. So I really
She didn't really think she felt threatened. I think that's why. I just don't think
you think the ex?
I don't think Camille felt threatened by the ex because
yeah.
I'm not even sure that's his ex. If I'm being really honest, it felt very friend vibes. It felt very much like, this is my friend I've known my whole life, and we were boyfriend and girlfriend for a day in junior high because we both were just trying to figure ourselves out. It didn't feel, there was no romantic chemistry between him and that woman. She was a lovely woman, and I'm sure she's a fantastic friend, not just to him, but to many people. She just seems like she has a great spirit. Yeah. But I wasn't buying any of the ex conversation, and I'm not trying to still push the narrative that is obvious. I didn't buy it. I didn't feel anything. And actually, while I'm on the subject, so I don't forget since I'm a little slower today.
Yes.
Question for anybody viewing this in the audience. Do you think any of the exes that were on the show tonight are a better fit for any of these men than the current contending women?
That's a great question. Was there anybody that you felt was that way? Yeah, so you guys please comment. Let us know. I would love to know. That's a great question. Did you feel that way about any ex?
Yes, I did. I think it was Dante's.
Oh, I can definitely see that.
I think was that when the question was like, if you were to date him now, could you date him now? Was that this? What? Yeah. And I'm not trying to put too much into the energy field of all of that little like undertones and context of what may have been happening and why maybe even the women asked that question in the first place. Smart question asked though, because maybe they were picking up on the slight frequency or chords that still might be attached to the both of them that haven't completely been cut yet. That's a question I would ask if I was feeling that type of way. I don't know. I just thought that they moved really well together. They seem to speak the same language. They seem like a couple that could have maybe taken a break and came back to kind of maybe, rekindle the flame, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah. Off the top of my head, that's kind of what comes to me. On the other ones, I don't think so.
Yeah, I didn't get too much energy from some of the other ones. And I do have to agree with you now that you brought it up about Dante and his ex, because she seemed to really actually know him as well. Her answers, she knew him.
She felt like an authentic ex.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unlike who we were just talking about with Corny and Cam.
Yeah. And then, Camille couldn't exit the room without giving us a little of her Camilleisms. Like, okay, so is she going to leave? Like, she don't got nowhere to go? I was like, girl, you was almost there. You was almost out the woods.
I mean, she is funny.
She is. She's a character, and I appreciate that.
Character. Yeah. I just can't tell if she's like constantly just on being in the arts as she is, and so she's just always on playing, or if that's serious.
Dang.
So, and I get it. A lot. My cousin, when I'm around people, she'll have to be like, "You disclaimer, he's an actor, so you can't listen to anything he's saying." So I understand that, but yeah, I just wonder if it's an act or if it's authentic. And if it's authentic, that's very worrisome. And I think they kind of tackled that subject in the Gentleman's Lounge, which we'll get to later. So that was another note to talk about.
Exactly. And I actually think it's authentic. I really think that that's part of who she is. And the antics are funny. They're entertaining. I believe it's her. I just don't understand what's all behind that. But I definitely believe her antics are true to her. It doesn't look like she's trying to come up with something. It looks like that's how she functions. And I can see how some people take to it, and some people are like, all right, girl, like at some point you got to turn it off, which she did in the interview.
Yes.
But I don't, so she has it, but
I think authentic is the wrong word. I meant put, what is the word? Figure it out, Gus. Is it put on? Is she being, what I'm trying to really say, so maybe y'all can help me figure what I'm trying to say, is when she's like, so she leaving soon? Is that playful or is it serious? What is her intention behind those questions?
I think her intention is to make you ask. Like, I might be crazy, sit outside and wait. No, she needs to go. Or answer me, I'm being cute and funny. No, but I think she plays the line on purpose.
Well, thank you, Camille, because you just made me feel sane for one of the first times in my life.
Okay, and we're going to leave it at that because we got to talk about Phil, Tasia, and Shiloh. This was a good date. It was very interesting. Shiloh and Phil, first of all, they look good together. What did you think overall about that whole date situation and scenario? I got some thoughts, but I want to know what you think.
Okay, I'll go first if you insist. Phil and Shiloh definitely have vibes, and they have very grown, sexy, mature, like couple vibes. They flow, it's easy. And poor Tasia, I just feel like this show has been really hard for her. And on her, and honestly, I think she is gonna hopefully. She said in her things like, "I am more authentic and happier than I've ever been in my life, so I'm like good." That. And I believe that, and I love that for her. But even when you are the happiest you can be in life, and you are as authentic as you can be, there's still optimal room for growth.
Always.
And I think from watching this, if I were her, which I'm not, so I'm not speaking for her, I would see myself in a different light that I think would really help me step into which they brought up on the date, his friend, confidence, and being ready to love. I think she just has a few too many triggers an insecurity still, from what I just gather on watching her for as short of a time as I have, to really be able to be in a support and like a mature, supportive relationship. You hear me?
I do. And I'm somebody, that's why I love you and I doing this show, because as much as we like think alike, we have different perspectives on things too, or other colors and things to add to perspectives. And I agree with you. Yes. And just being somebody who is very observant and understanding, I give a lot of people a pass. I can see why a lot of people do things. I feel like the situations that she's been put in would off-put anybody almost in that environment, because not only are they on national TV trying to date, but they got cameras in their face and, a lot of moving around. This isn't a normal dating situation. So I think you're right. These types of things set off her triggers. So one of the things that I wrote down that I would have loved to see from her is kind of, and we'll talk about Sydney, but instead of feeling like the third wheel and taking it there, I just simply would have got up and on my way across, brush that man on the shoulder, rub your booty on his elbow, something, and go sit in your rightful space. Like, because I do think the setup should have been more, these are the two girls that I'm dating, and here's the ex on the side. It wasn't about the ex. So why were they, separated? It did change the energy. And again, I kind of feel like that environment triggered the stuff that you're saying, where she could still work on and grow. However, had she been given the proper space, maybe it would have turned out a little different. What do you think?
Why didn't she just make the initiative and do it?
I don't know.
Why? And I say this because in my more insecure time in life, I would have voiced it and done nothing about it. In this point in my life, if I'm fighting for something, first of all, I'm not going to fight for anything.
Yeah.
But if I want something and I think of a way to get it that is going to be better for me to receive, I'm going to put myself in that position. So
agreed.
Why didn't you make that suggestion? Because that would come off delicious and sexy.
Delicious
if you were
sexy
like,
and confident.
Hey, you know what?
This feels
Why don't we put you in the middle and let us plank you, so I feel more of this connected energy between all of us, so we're not wasting anybody's time and we're all here for the same purpose.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't sound egotistical. That doesn't sound insecure. It just sounds like, wow, this person knows what they want and they know how to handle themselves. Agreed. And look, I can't say in her position that I would have done that in that moment, but watching it now, I can say that. So thank you.
That's what I think about opportunity in the moment.
But even just, she just is really, I think I know a lot of Taurus people. And one of my best friends is a Taurus. I'm not going to say her name so she doesn't yell at me, because I saw her today. So that's enough.
Yes.
But she was very much like Sia many times in her life, where she would just shut down and she would not want to hear it. And she'd be like, and she couldn't respond accordingly because she just closed off. But the older she's gotten and the more mature she's gotten and the more self-development that she's gone through, I don't ever really see her go into that space anymore. And that's just what I mean by there's still some little rooms of growth for her to really open up her heart and be available to it. Because from the dating that I do, the little that it is, but just in general, when I witness from other people, the more lighthearted you are, the more attractive you are. And it just allows being lighthearted just allows so many things in. Yes. And I think that'd be really beneficial for her, because she even said, she's like, I'm structured, I'm methodic. Like, she still is
correct,
relying on something that could be holding her back. And
agreed.
I want to just point out really quick for a second too, her confessional looks with that green and those nails, she looked so fucking
oh my God,
beautiful.
I loved it. And that lip, I was
and
like,
that lip,
go
the
off.
match, she looked so good.
She's a beautiful woman.
She's
she did look
so
great.
Beautiful.
With the tresses just laying over her breasts. Like, she got this. She's
gorgeous.
Yes. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, because every time I went to that, I was like, that looks.
And that's simply what I mean by this, is that I really hope that watching this experience back, she is ready. She just needs some fine tuning. And I hope that this maybe lets her see, like, oh, I do need to just be a little more lighthearted, and like, oh, I'm taking things a little too serious, and just those little things. Because we've already said this before. I'll say it again. She is ready for love with the right person.
With the right
and she's worthy of it, and she has all the tools and everything necessary to be a wonderful wife to a man, no doubt.
And you've said that before about her, that she just needs to be more lighthearted. It was something that you picked up on in the very beginning, And I definitely agree because you see that from Shiloh. It's such a turn on. When Shiloh walked in, she was like, this girl was cute. I felt such good energy right off the bat. Da, 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 da. And, where Tasia was like, I'm not trying to be no ex's best friend. Da, da, da. I think they're exes. Like, what is, why not? I don't see what
She's
the
being
problem
triggered
is.
still.
You know
She's
what I
still being
mean?
triggered.
Yes.
And look, to each their own personalities, there's no right or
Mm-hmm.
wrong. How she acts is how she's going to act, right? So
Yeah.
I'm not trying to talk down on anybody's personality.
So I have a question for you that was asked on this date, and I was like, well, let me ask Gus.
Oh.
So what would be your bad traits or your red flags? What do you think an ex would say about you? Remember when what do you think would be one of your things?
I actually thought about that as soon as they said it too.
Me too.
I was like,
what
what would be my bad trait? I mean, there are a lot of them, like I am human. And I think someone like me, it's from the bat, I will probably come out with like, this is what I'm working on. This is what I'm going through. This is how I've been in the past. It's easy for me to be that way.
Right.
Not many men take well to that because they're, they speak a lower level of frequency, so to speak. But I would say that I come from an upbringing of not really knowing what love looks like from first person in my own experience. I wasn't raised around genuine connection and partnership and love. So I don't know what that looks like. I'm going to need somebody to keep supporting the image I have hold in my mind and also keep molding it in the direction of like the truth of what that might entail. So I think my biggest red flag would just be, I'm still learning, but I'm also a really great student and I'm a very quick learner. And when I want to do something, I only do it at the highest, best level because that's all I'm capable of. So not to say I don't have negative traits, but I like to know my negatives because they help turn them into positives. But that's just how I live life.
Yep.
And then my other one is I like a lot of sex. So
better be able to hang with the Scorpio.
If you can't hang with the Scorpio sex, then I went on a date last night. I hope he's not watching this. And I haven't told him yet, but I'm still learning how to. Shit, that's right. He might be. I don't know if I should say.
Hey, guy. No, say it.
I didn't feel a sexual connection, like an intimate connection. I tried, but there just wasn't those feelings there. And that's.
But I think that's okay.
I'm picky. That might be another bad trait. I mean, I'm very picky, but I also I'm very in tune with my feelings. So if, I'm also open to expanding them. But if there's just that, he was very kind, he's handsome, good head on his shoulders, there's really nothing wrong. There was no. Well, what about you, Jaime, Love Alexander, Nicole?
Oh man, I thought about it, and actually, I'm like you in a sense where if there is something that somebody can point out because I can't see it, I'm totally willing to work on it because I want to be at my best, and I'm willing to be malleable for that. But I definitely think one trait that came off the top of my head is my moods. People like that I can go into a room and change the molecules and brighten it up, and that I can be so sunshine and passion and all these things, but as high as I can get is also as low as I can get. And I think that sometimes that low place can either be intimidating or negative, or it can make people feel some kind of way. If I can bring the room up, I do believe I have the power to bring it down. So I want to be with somebody who just understands how to navigate that. I try my best. I read memes like, if my energy isn't right, then I'm gonna stay away from people type of thing. But I feel like there will be these moments where I might need to, I don't know, because I don't know. I haven't been in a relationship so long where we were working on things together. So I don't know if I would need to isolate or if I would just need to talk it out with them or talk it out with a friend and then come back to them and give them something logical that they could work with. But I think that some of the things that I experience when my mood is low, if you don't know who I am or haven't learned how to navigate that, it might seem like a little bit too much. It might seem negative or unhealthy or, So I definitely think that's
Gemini.
one. Yeah, it's It's so real. It's not, I try to regulate, and you've known me for years. I think I've gotten better at handling it, but it's still very much
Absolutely.
there. It's there. And then, at one point when they were, I dated this guy in New York, but I was going through my dark night of the soul. Shouldn't have even been dating him in the first place. And I'm not even like this anymore, but he would have definitely been like, oh, her drinking. Like, I didn't like her because when she's too whatever when she drinks, blah, blah, blah. And I was sad and depressed. So I had that issue, but he's not the ex that would have brought on the show. It would have brought a one that would have praises to say. But that was an issue at some point when I was sad. I just couldn't pull it together. And again, although he liked me and saw the shining parts of my personality, being depressed and putting alcohol in the mix just wasn't a good experience for him. And I think that that's something he definitely felt some kind of way about. So
it's funny you brought that up because mine would be a guy that I dated off and on for a few years in New York, long distance as well. Same thing. And he said the thing which correlates to my answer I gave you. He said to me, I mean, he was no angel. He did a lot of fucking shitty things.
Yeah.
But he said to me, I hope you let somebody love you one day, Gus.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then I get older and I see my mom who won't let somebody love her. Yeah. And so that was, thank God, 12 years ago now. So that was always in the forefront of my mind and moving forward to make sure that I was really open and available to love.
Yeah. And I think I could, probably even with that, I can be very guarded. I went on a first date last year, and that was one of the things that they said. They're a very observant person, and they were like, I could tell that you're guarded. And I am, I do, I don't want to be the person that has to be 100% comfortable before I blossom, but I do. So it's something, that's another thing I kind of work on. And I'm not really sure, it's like halfway I hope somebody would be willing to put in the effort and hang with me a little bit, but then also I'm willing to like step it up and learn that, all right, girl, just like the lightheartedness, just be who you are. It is what it is. Don't be so detached, let go. So I don't know if that's like such a red flag, but it's something that needs to be worked on.
Shiloh represents that in a really, really great way, which I think I've got to that place. And if not, I'm still working on, and that's my intention, is that she really knows how to just bring a confident, lighthearted awareness to where she is. And she doesn't need to have walls up because she's so aware of herself that she's not going to let somebody in the door if they haven't earned it. And at the same time, she's also not there like a bodyguard at the door asking for your details to get into the room because you're only VIP or not. Like, she just moves really nicely through life. So she represents that really well on the show, I think.
She does. I agreed. I was like, wow, any heartbreak she might have gone through, she did a really good job healing because she doesn't lead with that. Yeah. You don't see it on her in a particular way. And the way you just explained it with the bouncer situation is perfect. So I love that. I definitely am here for it. I see a couple of you guys in the chat, and what we're talking about is what Phil, Tasia, and Shiloh talked about. So what would be one of your red flags? What would be one of your bad traits? If you care to share, throw it in the comments. We love the conversation. I did like the way Phil described Tasia. He said, Tasia has this intensity about her that isn't made for everybody. Yeah. This man is eloquent. He's a gentleman, and I appreciate the way Phil shows up.
Yeah.
Just Phil.
Yes, Zini, yes. But I was really surprised at some of the things his ex said. Like, his communication skills can't be the best. Didn't she say that? Mm-hmm. Or that what else? Like, something about him not being able to, like, essentially commit, maybe?
What does she say? I didn't write down really what she said about him, but yes, she was talking about that.
She did bring up some things that I wasn't expecting for her to say about Phil.
And he was kind of shocked too. And then sometimes that's what I think, what part of it is a little bit contrived. Nobody's perfect. So what can we expound upon in order to make him look like something? But you're right. And then whatever it is, sometimes I'm hesitant to talk about ex situations because people evolve. We don't know how much self-work he did after breaking up with that woman, So
I was just going to say,
reflection for him. Yeah.
It doesn't feel like he's living in the space that he was in that time.
No.
He just from what I gathered, he seems to have moved on and grown from that.
He's definitely evolved. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so I like that Shiloh asked, what about the red flags? I think that's important. Let's talk about Frank, Moomin, and Sydney. This one was fun. This date was fun. And not gonna lie, Frank really has two really dynamic women on his sides, and they are different, but they're so like it's going to be a tough decision. His ex Leah was on point. Even she was having a hard time identifying like which girl, and she was concerned about him being able to understand and see what he needed. She was well spoken, and I think she understood the assignment.
I think she was. I think I apologize if I already said this about somebody else, but if not the best, one of the best of really knowing the assignment, knowing that person, and the like from a relationship standpoint.
Yeah.
But can I just yell at you women for 1 second?
Yell at us. Bring it on.
Why are you having a list? Why are you, Sydney, bringing a whole list and interrogating the ex? Y'all got your time last week. You got your time last week. Why you got to attack the man on his time to actually get to know you and figure out your stuff? I was just like, that's not fair. That wasn't the assignment. I see y'all trying to flip the script. And if the men would have done that to the women, they would have reacted so much differently and would been furious. Yes or no?
You're right, but we don't expect men to do that kind of homework. And that is where she kind of like stepped forward and was like, oh, I am prepared.
No, that wasn't the assignment. It was about knowing you, learning you, like, you know, that's the balance of it all. But it was entertaining. But I just noticed that I was like, if that would have been flipped on script on the girls, they would have not liked that. Every confessional would have been so angry.
See, and I loved it because you got to be prepared. And especially, again, I go back to the environment, being on TV, not knowing what's going to happen, all these curveballs, you get nervous. So you want to make sure you're getting what you need, but sometimes you got to write it down because the nerves might let things slip your mind and you don't want them to say cut. And then you're like, oh, I should have asked.
The written down was great, but the list of her having to ask X about him when the X was still supposed to be asking questions about
that list
to her
was long.
To know if she was right for him. Like, I'm like, how did this assignment get twisted?
Sydney is cute for that. I love it.
I really like her energy. I think, you know what? She reminds me of, I don't know, like, I'm not discriminating against age, and my intention is not to be shady for once, but I mean this in the best way possible. She reminds me of probably how Shiloh was in her youth and what she's evolved into. Just her awareness, her lightheartedness, like her, how genuine and sweet she is. Like,
she's so sweet, yeah.
It just, I feel like when she's older, she'll probably be a little more calm, like Shiloh is with it. And there's nothing wrong with her excitement in her youth and how she is right now. I just had that kind of observation, wondering if that's maybe, you know, how Shiloh was when she was a little younger.
Yeah, I like that you said that. I think there's a 3-year age difference with them. So you're right. Just in a few more years, just a little bit more groundedness with Sydney. Not because she's not grounded.
She don't need it.
But
she doesn't need it. Yeah, but just wondering if that's a part of the process for her, right?
Right. I know I put, come on, Sydney, with the phone scroll. I also love how at the end when
encyclopedia.
Yeah, she went. I love that. I love being prepared now, so I got to stand with her on that.
Yeah, that was magical. She shows she's really here for the right reasons, and she's not playing around. I liked it.
I love that, and I like how they call her and Moomin call each other sister wives. Come on, sister wife. I was like, you guys are so cute because that's true.
There was a great, just a great energy between everybody there. They all they handled it with such class.
I knew you were going to say that because Moomin was like, I'm secure about what me and Frank share. I'm just going to sit on my throne and see what happens. And that's really all you can do.
That's all you have to do.
That's all you have to do.
Depending on her personality, Sydney was doing nothing wrong. She was being herself. And Moomin was just like, all I got to do is just sit here and just exude this energy and be present. I really liked what they both had to say about Frank.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, how Moomin was like his heart and Sydney was like, there are so many things. He's like me in so many senses, like my twin. We balance each other out well.
Female version of him. Yeah.
But they were both such great answers. Which one would you have received more and kind of made you lean toward the toward?
Well, that's why I said he has a problem on his hands. Sydney said it's a female version of him. She feels like they complement each other. And Moomin said Frank is special and she feels like she can complement and support his lifestyle. One thing that Moomin added to, I like the word complement his lifestyle, because sometimes being too same which we talked about last after show,
Yeah.
on the That's What Friends Are For last episode, 7. So you guys can tune into that if you want. But it was like, is the fact that Frank and Sydney are so in the nightlife ever going to be an issue later on in their relationship? But I do feel Moomin will complement differently. And additionally, because I'm such a woman who's passionate about what my man is passionate about and seeing what feels purposeful to him. She mentioned his love and kind-heartedness. Was it for youth or it was for people? So I feel like she just went a little bit deeper, but deep enough to where it made me feel like, oh, she's really looking at him and seeing where she fits.
Yeah.
So it was the kind of, if I had to choose, for me, it would have been Moomin on that.
Same. Maybe a week ago, a year ago, yesterday, I would have said Sydney.
Hands down, right?
Hands down. But just where I am right now, maybe it's just a new moon that is just making me evolve so quickly. Yeah, Moomin. That answer would have been the best to me because it was placed more in the heart of the companionship.
Correct.
As opposed to just the mind aspect of what you could relate to intelligently, of that likeness and that other version of myself, as opposed to seeing that and more and seeing that compliment doesn't have to necessarily mean because you're my twin.
Yes.
And that's what I'm seeking. I realized I'm like, I'm not looking for this, we believe in twin flames. I think I already met my twin flame, and they say you don't always end up with your twin flame. I don't want to end up with my twin flame.
I get it
at this point.
I get it.
And Sydney and him feel like they're twin flames. Moomin feels like the one that he could actually spend the rest of his life with, and that's kind of, that's how I see that dynamic. Currently, how I see that dynamic, especially of the way her and Phil were going at it. We'll get there in a second, but that was like,
I mean, we're gonna have to talk about that. Because got some feelings about that. We're gonna put a pin in that one. We're putting a pin in that. So when Frank was asked about Moomin and Sydney, and this was also a Twitter conversation, which we'll get to towards the end as well, but he said Moomin was outspoken and observant. So that is nice. But then he referred to Sydney as the beauty. And although he's right about both, again, when it comes to depth and longevity, we talked about this last episode. Can Frank really bring the depth that it's going to require to have a long-term relationship? And just the way he described the two, because Sydney is somebody who, her words, wants to be seen for who she is as opposed to her beauty, which I know throw men off in a particular way or surprise them. I want her to be honored by her traits as well, and not just her beauty. And not to take anything away from Moomin, but there was a way he was able to see, her outspokenness and her observancy, and call it out as such. So I just don't want Frank to get caught up in the look, because nightlife, you got to look good. He come in with Sydney. It's just everybody who's he, how he did it. It's an upgrade for him visually. However, great, but that's not always enough. And I'm not saying that Sydney doesn't have enough. I just want Frank to be able to see.
Last week, I brought up the point saying that I think they're great for each other right now, but I don't know if I see longevity and long-term partnership with them.
Yes.
And I wasn't sure Frank would be able to recognize that. I think that in this moment in this show, when they're displayed this like they did on this episode, he might have actually shifted his awareness more quickly than I thought he was capable of doing.
I'm not mad at that.
Because I think when I watch that and the questions and the intentions, as Moomin says, she dates with intention.
Yes.
Which I loved, because I think that's so important. And she also said in one of the dates too, how at this age we know. At this age we know, and if 1 or 2 years, if we don't, we should know, because we're old, we're grown as fuck.
Yeah. We're grown.
I forgot I was going because I sidetracked. But anyways, I think
you said you think Frank got the awareness a little bit faster than you thought he might have.
Yeah. And to be quite honest, in that date, I was actually seeing Moomin shine in her beauty differently than I've seen on the show. She's always been a stunner.
Yes,
Moomin
she has.
Gorgeous.
And
I thought when they walked in, especially when Sydney walked in with that outfit looking fine as fuck, She was like, boom, kadang, 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 kadang.
Curls, just curls for the girls.
When I was sitting, oh my God, in the cutout, just body. When they were sitting there was just Moomin all of a sudden, like, I just saw her jawline and her eyes, and they were like lit, and her beautiful skin tone. Like, I was looking at her like,
queen. Period.
Fucking beautiful.
Yep.
Queen.
She called it secure, like sitting on your throne. You are.
Yeah, she did.
You're sitting on it.
She sure did.
You're sitting on it.
She sure is.
One more thing that I put out with Sydney is I love that when she's being asked about her children and what she wants, that she says God willing, because it's just a good, healthy, open answer and understanding. Is so good.
Thanks for bringing that up. No, I want to fight you on this. I want to fight you on this.
Tell me, talk to me.
And then, I think that's her scapegoat. I don't think she's ready for kids. And I think that's her way of trying to tell people she is. There was something about it when she was like, it's God's timing, and when he's ready, I don't know. Because I think if you want something, you say it. You say,
and stick on it. I get it.
Boom, 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 boom.
God, I'm on the fence with that one.
Many other things, she sticks on it. And there's, we don't have to stick on everything in life. That's fine for us to be indecisive. Yeah.
Tomorrow it could be different. Yeah.
But I don't know. I just felt like I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it in that moment. Yeah, I saw past it, I think. Or I could just be, being crazy like usual. But you know me, I'm pretty
I love the perspective because, again, we see differently sometimes. And I just thought it was a good way, as a woman, as a human, we can bearing a child is it's wise and it's smart to stick the stake in the ground and say, my babies, my children, and call it. We know about the law of attraction. We know about speaking things into existence. So it's good to just be like, yes, I want kids. My kids are going to do this and speak. That's how but I just like the God willing because it is a blessing. It is something that happens in time. And when she said, when a man is ready, he will make the steps. I do believe that because not that you can't go for what you want because we see she's willing to do that. But it's also like there's just a force you can't have when it comes to someone else. And these things, there has to be some flow in there. And you got to be ready. Like you can't.
How would you have answered that though?
Which part? Like,
do you want kids?
Absolutely is my answer.
Boom.
Absolutely is my answer.
Boom. And then you would have said, God willing, but I understand. Absolutely.
Okay. I mean, yes.
You would have said both. You would have been like, absolutely, God willing, yes. Yeah, she just, and her energy, her body moved back. She kind of moved away from the table a little bit. So I don't know. I was just picking up on some kind of like, who knows?
I'm not mad at that. See, that's why I keep you in the pocket. I need a little pocket. Just keep you in the pocket. Okay.
A Gus in the pocket.
Yes. Yeah. I'm not gonna argue. Not gonna argue with that. I love that. That was so much fun. Okay, Lord have mercy. We're gonna have to talk about Walter, Sabrina, and Moomin. First of all, I was not expecting that woman. First of all, I loved her personality, but Walter's ex, I don't understand that one. I was
I think it was just a friend or a joke, or like they were trying to do shock value. That doesn't
like. Is there something I don't know about Walter? Because it makes me question Walter.
It made no sense to me.
I couldn't see the connect. And then you see Sabrina walk up and I'm just like, I don't understand.
No sense.
Yeah.
But I liked how she was asking the questions, how she was firing the shots. She was very self-aware. Perfect. She was confident. She was the perfect person to bring. I just don't know if I buy if they were really in some type of serious relationship.
Either they weren't really in a relationship or there's a side of Walter we haven't yet seen. Which is it? I need to know.
Well, he did say he is 50 Shades of light skin, so
do you know I can see that in him?
Oh, absolutely. I've seen that from the jump. I see the same thing in Sabrina. That's why I think they're so great, is because you know that they're gonna have a really good sexual life.
Yes, I can definitely see that. But
I don't think him and Moomin are gonna have a good time.
No, I don't think Moomin is for Walter at all.
No, I think his friend nailed it when she said she don't really want to wait till marriage. She's just saying that because it sounds right, and it's helping her validate the way she's moving in this experience. But I agree. I think if one of the, and that's understandable. No doubt. But I just don't think that she really would hold out till marriage if she had the right situation, and she shouldn't have to.
I
But
understand.
I think holding herself to that personal moral and value space before a man can even come in and respecting her there before they take that next step is beautiful, and I commend her on that.
No, you said it perfectly, and you know how I feel. I agree.
Yeah.
I personally think it's important with men when getting to know them to set those boundaries, because sometimes they are looking at you with like lustful, eyes and intention, and then the attraction.
Phil and Sydney.
What? Oh, right.
Sorry.
Oh, but it like it needs to stay sexy. And I think her taking that off the table in a particular way is because we don't know Moomin. She could really, really mean it, or she could be, but I do think it's the security that she's looking for. So I think you've already nailed it with what you said.
Your word was perfect. Nailed. Security. Yeah. That's really it.
It is security. Like, I'm not about to because Walter, he looked like he want to dibble and dabble and, have some fun and did it. And that's cool. He's 46, single with no kids. So I know what Walter's doing. And that's when you want to marry someone and do something serious. For me, I would hold off with him too. I'm not giving it up because I got to see what you're working on. Because I think you could be on some of the hit it and quit it, or you will be somebody that I think will have the sex, do the things, and have fun, and then never go. We need you to move on, Walter. So I don't know if I'd be giving it up to him either.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I picked up in the beginning. It's just he's so charismatic and likable for everybody that always comes. Yeah, that comes with a side of I get my way, and that's why I'm single. I get it.
Yeah, because what is he gonna?
Why would he want to? It's gonna take a powerful woman who is a little crazy, like Sabrina,
and I like
to tie him down, and I do too. But
that.
I love that when she said, "Are you crazy?" She's like, "No." What did she say? She's like, "I am too classy."
Too classy, yeah.
To be crazy, and I think she's 100% accurate.
I believe her.
But she's
But
equipped.
she's also not gonna mess around.
That's what I mean.
She's equipped. Be careful with crazy, because speaking your mind, putting your stake in the ground, calling stuff how you see it is not crazy.
Well, and I think that really, you hit the nail on the nose when you said he still might be in that place of like, I get what I want because I'm charismatic and I can.
Playboy.
And that girl that I still don't think they ever dated, she was fabulous.
She was.
She was like, you do something and she's gonna be like, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And yes, she is. And that's really good for you, Walter.
Yeah.
It's really good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she also said, Daddy knows where home is. Sabrina's not playing. Sabrina's not playing with you, Walter. You better get it together and act like you know something now.
I love Sabrina so much. I just, even the way she freaking checkmated at the end, and that we'll get there in a second, but she's just, I want to be like Sabrina. Girl. I want to be like a balance of Sabrina, Aisha, and Shiloh when I grow up.
Oh, I love that mix.
What
a beautiful person.
Oh, they're so they all have such delicious and divine qualities.
Yeah.
And then talking about coming in looking like a stunner, Sabrina walked in that day looking like a goddess.
And that's what the ex said.
She was like walking on water.
Mm-hmm.
She was controlling the elements. She was like Storm.
That's right.
She was a superhero.
That's right. And I also loved, she is such a boss. I also love how there was two things. I don't need to ask.
You're going to say it. Yep. You're going to say it.
I don't need to ask anybody about him. We talk. I know. I'm going to find out. I don't need to, but that's real.
Yeah, yes. And that's how it should be. See, Sabrina's just like us, though. She's just growing in fucking sex. She ain't got no time. And that's the truth of the matter. That's it.
And she literally don't have no time, because I also love her exit. I'm not about to sit up here with all three of y'all. I got something to do. I came, I saw, I conquered, I'm out.
Woo! It was such great chess playing. Yes. But I really like how Moomin said, I'm going to match your checkmate. And I got shit to do too, boo. I love the way they did that. It was such power play.
Yes.
It was awesome.
I'm not going to sit up here all day and try to figure out. I'm good. I know where I stand. I know where I sit. I know where the crown, my throne. And I also have things to do. So thank you for your time. This was fun.
I think Moomin's a better match for Frank, though, anyways. And then Walter, for sure.
Yeah. If it had to be one of the two, for sure. I'm just not even sure that I want Moomin with Frank either. But we'll see.
I'm not sure of that.
I don't think he has the foundation it's going to take to really
I think
give her what she needs.
I think he needs another relationship like Sydney to be in for a minute to grow from to figure that next
Well, you
place
called
out.
it. You said that she was more of a twin flame, so it might be that situation.
And
That
and if he
ruffles
hasn't
the feathers.
incurred that yet, yeah,
Yeah.
it's necessary for you to step
Yeah.
past that.
Yeah, because I
Absolutely.
could just see it in him. He's still, and Leah said it. She's worried he doesn't know what he needs, and I see
Yes.
that on
Oh,
him. So it's
absolutely.
like he
It's
can
showmanny.
see.
It's still showmanny.
Yeah,
It's still
you
it's
young
customers all
minded.
day, every day still. And
Yeah,
it's can't be that way
yeah,
in relationships.
yeah. A little bit of an immaturity. He's a great man. I'm not trying to say, oh, he's immature, but there's an immaturity in a space where I'm just not sure he could go the full Monty yet.
He's extremely charismatic.
Yeah.
And he's the type that's red flag charismatic, which is why a guy that I dated not too long ago, you know, the one that we don't mention, he was afraid of charismatic people because I think his ex before me was charismatic like Frank.
Yeah.
And when he met my charisma, I think that was a red flag for him, but that's not where this charisma comes from. So
I see, you know what? I get that. And, you know, I too just left a situationship, I would say, where the person was very like charismatic. Like, you know how to put on, you know what to say.
Frank,
you know
like
how
charismatic.
to, yeah, exactly. You know how to make a room feel
You know
some
how to
kind
get
of
what you
way.
want.
Yes, you know how to get and that is scary. But
and for your own interest, get what you want, not for the whole body involved in the.
Yeah, you got to be able to tell the difference.
Yes, discernment.
Because
Key, kids, whoever's listening and watching this,
come on, there's people in
fine
here.
tune that discernment, because
That's
that
the
will
only
serve you so well moving forward in every single aspect in your life.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. That's all we got. That's our protection. You don't have to be guarded when you're protected, but
No.
that intuition is going to be what has you navigating and moving healthily for yourself.
Shiloh knows exactly what discernment is.
She's good.
She doesn't need walls up because her discernment is just
I love that.
locked in.
Ooh.
So is Sabrina's. So is Aisha's.
Yep.
Let's be honest. All three of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm with you on that. I did think it was cute that Walter said, how many kids you want? We need a Jackson 5. You can sing. That was cute.
Great.
That was really cute. I was like, he's low-key serious.
Well, that was that charisma right there, though. Saying the right thing to get what you want.
Walter, you better stop it. I'm falling
But I mean,
for
why can't it be both, though? And I think that's why Sabrina's great with it, because she's going to let him be that charismatic. But when he thinks he's going to be a little more than that and play around, she's going to be like, no, boo-boo.
She's shutting it down.
No, boo-boo.
And no.
No, boo-boo.
She's not having that.
No.
And you best not call her crazy for it, because that's just what it is. A real woman's not going to let you move like that.
Crazy to me is a compliment, so I take it. Homeboy asked me last night or something about that. I was like, oh, I'm crazy. I'm a little crazy. Yeah. And it's good. You're welcome.
With your straight face, and it's good.
And it's good. You're welcome.
Yeah. You're so cute.
There's nothing simple about me. So
yeah.
And
buckle up.
That's a conversation I thought I wanted to have with you on here too, is like the definition of what crazy is and the way people throw that word around in general.
They throw the word, yes.
And that's why, like, for me, if I say that, the right person is going to ask the right questions to see what kind of crazy I really mean. And they're gonna be like, you ain't crazy.
Yeah.
You just know yourself very well. And you're not normal. You're an individual. And I'm be like, well, do you want to put the ring on your finger now or later? Because you just nailed it.
Correct. And you know, with everything you spoke about the new moon earlier, and I've been going through my stuff.
Got a hot flash from that.
Woo. Yeah, I know. I feel you on that. That's what I'm saying. When I tell you I feel you on that, like that's what it is. And that's what's so beautiful about even watching this show, going through the experiences we went through this year, growing and all of these things is like, yeah, it's going to be so beautiful when somebody has.
Ooh, this happens every time, people, around 45 to 48 minutes. So just hold tight. Once again, the question that I would love for anybody that is partaking in this with us for you to answer is, do you think that any of these exes are better suitors for the people they're dating now on the show? I just was continuing that to repeat that while you were.
Well, I mean, I think I was about to preach. That's why the phone was like, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think that's what's so beautiful about coming into contact with somebody who really wants to know you. There are nuances to people. And when you really take the time to find out all the intricacies of a person, I think they're going to be wildly pleased with what they find. And that's only going to make the bond stronger. It's like chords. Each time you learn something about someone, you're tightening the cord, you're adding a chord to that, which makes the bond harder to break because you didn't take things for surface crazy, or I do that. Ask the questions, find out, delve deeper. Like, I know when it comes to people like me and you, you're going to be, your socks is going to be knocked off.
Yes,
but you have to be there for that.
But you and yourself have to hold yourself accountable enough. Sorry, the person and yourself have to hold yourself accountable enough to not be triggered in a past fearful way, like someone like Zadia would act, or like Tasia would act still when entertaining these conversations. Because when you, as soon as you like a Zadia or Tasia, a wall comes up and the gloves come on before you can even like, they have these preconceived notions of what things mean already, and they haven't been able to see past that perspective of their own viewpoint that is blocking them from really taking it a step further with somebody. I know I just jumped a little bit, but
preconceived notions. Come on. That's everything that we're talking about right now. Got to get rid of the preconceived notions. It's not going to serve anybody when you're getting to know a complete individual.
And you can trust that you can get rid of them when you've sharpened that tool of discernment. Yeah.
And intuition, keep it popping. I love that you mentioned that. So I guess it'd be perfect. Let's talk about Dante, Zadia, and Shiloh. I was actually surprised to even see Dante and Zadia in the same room. I haven't really seen too much chemistry from them two. So
and Shiloh too, though. That it was it felt like it was for show purposes, that one, to be quite honest.
Yeah, because I didn't really get any connection from them.
Which is fine.
Which is fine. But I have to actually say too, I like Dante a little bit more. The more that I see him, the more I like who he is, how he presents, what he's talking about. I'm seeing a little bit more of his authenticity, because in the beginning I wasn't sure. And his situation,
it's hard to be sure with his narrative.
Yeah, it's hard to be it doesn't have to I'm not going to say a red flag, because what's a red flag for one person might not be a red flag for someone else. But for me, a man with 3 kids by 3 different women tells me you were living a particular lifestyle and that you were lacking your own set of discernment in a period of time in your life. And you could have very well grown past that. Great. But your movement, I don't know what that is. I would need to really sit down and talk with you to figure out, how did we get here? And how did you move past it? And I think he has the answers, but I'm just saying,
it's intentional, I think, too.
You know?
So I feel like someone who moved like that in their past, they didn't move with intention, and that affected other people as well, essentially.
Yeah. So, I did like the ex said that she would date him again. I
think they might actually be a good match still.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. I wonder why that fell apart,
Because he wasn't where he needs to be for someone like her. She seemed like a very grounded, I liked her. She seemed great.
And she was happy and beautiful and sweet. I really liked her as well. So what did you think about, the ex said that Shiloh showed the goodness versus flaws, and it was like digging for, like Zadia was digging for dirt versus Shiloh digging for gold.
That's on my page too.
What did you feel about that?
It's 100% the way that they've been moving this whole time. Zadia, walls up, gloves on, just wants to go into the negative, and then of course Shiloh's going to seek and look for the positive, because through that her discernment's strong enough that she's going to already innately see what she needs to watch out for. But it's perspective. It shows you, I think that might be, if I were the creator of the show and I felt like 2 perspectives needed to be seen very clearly in a dating scenario, this was the perfect situation. And that's what it was. You just saw somebody, 2 people in 2 completely different places in their life. And with just 2 different personalities. And Zadia doesn't need to be anything else but what Zadia is. I'm sure how she moves and what she is will be received by the right man.
Right. Yeah. And, not even in Zadia's defense or anything, but just look, because I'm indifferent about it. I think the way that they put it was right. If Shiloh showed up more digging for gold versus digging for dirt. But I can't be mad at the digging for dirt, because the example I thought about was kind of like a job interview, right? We go to a job interview and they're like, we're going to treat you like family and we've got this and da-da-da-da. But if I ask an ex-employee, I don't want to hear what you put on because you want to hire me and you want me to think this is the greatest work environment. I'm going to ask you, well, why did you leave the company? Well, what things about the company felt like a detriment to you? Or I would ask things not to be negative, but because I can see the fluff, the flowers, the colors, the glitter. I see that, but what can't I see? And so I'm not mad at asking some of the harder questions to get to the root of what's really going on, just because, I mean, you talked about Shiloh's discernment and intuition and understanding. So it would be that, but I guess I can see Zadia's position in wanting to know the tea.
I just think Shiloh can still get the dirt, but just ask it in a more beneficial way for everybody to really be able to speak their truth freely.
And without feeling any kind of way. So I do like that. Yeah.
I think she knows how to massage a question to still get the information, negative and positive, but it not affect the energy in the room.
Come on,
to really
coach.
hear somebody. Yes, there you go. That's why
intimacy, like that's intimacy, that's vulnerable.
And that's what I feel like is lacking from Zadia a little bit.
Yeah,
a lot of her dates is intimacy, and that's what I've been saying from the front at the beginning. It's just like she doesn't. There's a lack of intimacy. Can I just ask this question now? What do they mean by? Oh, it's the next date, so I don't want to skip to it. But Naeem,
let's skip to it. No, we need to. This is the perfect segue to talk about Naeem and Zadia. What were you going to say?
Who was saying it? Was it Frank that was saying he's blinded by what? Sorry. Naeem is not seeing the bigger picture with Zadia taking advantage of him. What did that mean?
I don't know, because homegirl, his ex, said the same thing.
Yeah. And that
they're looking at him as a way out and a way up. I didn't understand that.
I don't think we know enough about him. Yes. And also, she came in firing. She was an artillery with ammunition, a tank, a helicopter, a submarine, and a whole divisional squad of an empire behind her. Naeem's ex, she did not come to play. She was throwing him under the bus, and it was extremely entertaining.
She is funny. What does she have again? I feel like she's still big mad about something.
100% is what I just said.
She's
still hurt and affected by him.
Yeah, she was throwing shots.
Absolutely, and it was perfect. Producers, we needed that. We didn't get that relationship or that what is it, chemistry with any of the couples until then. You needed to still see that person that was like firing, and it's like I thought I put my white flag up like 3 centuries ago, and you still have your fucking bazooka and your cannon pointed right at me with your dragon ready to fly over my gates and eat me alive
till the end. Even when it was time for him to walk away, she was still like, like.
I was laughing. She cracked me up.
That's funny.
And that just makes you wonder.
It does make me wonder.
What does he have to offer that everybody is so on? Like, what is it that we don't know about him that everyone would be using him for? Like, she obviously
said he's picky and guarded. So all of this, I need to understand. This is a lot of language I need to understand.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going on with him all the way yet. He's been pretty stealth through this thing. I still don't know anything about Naeem. She also brought up a good point, and which is kind of the through line of what you've been saying about Zadia. The ex was like, can Zadia be there emotionally? And then Naeem said that he saw that. He said red flag, and he said a pause. And then he said it's not affecting him.
And
so I'm trying to figure that out.
Frank was like, I think his ex was right. I think he's just seeing booty rocking everywhere.
Yikes.
You know what? I'm not going to lie, because I can see a lot of my likeness in that, because if I were that attracted to somebody I wanted that, and I knew they had that, and I just really wanted that.
I really wanted it.
I would be ignoring all the good shit sometimes too.
I know. I've done the same thing. When a man is fine, it's just like,
yeah.
I start making concessions for his, his
I would have been doing that on a show, though, called Ready for Love.
I don't know at this point what I would be doing. But you're right, because you would be really
I would be very intentful on making sure that I acted accordingly.
Yeah.
And not
Well,
with a preconceived notion of putting on an act. I mean, making sure that I represented myself to really, truly be ready to love.
right. And look at those
Not
things from
just be looking at
outside
the
of yourself.
physicality. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I'd hold myself at a little more awareness than that.
I would try, but I have to say I don't know. Lord have mercy, because that's something I'm working on. So would it come out in the show, or would I be able to step outside myself and look from, the bigger picture that they're asking him to look from? And
I think this is a good
like,
position to do so with so many different options, but maybe he's just not into any of them. And so that's why he's just, I wouldn't be surprised if he walked away from this with nothing, with nobody.
me neither.
And maybe that's why he's just kind of letting Zadia be V right now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think her
Even
triggers
with-
would trigger him too much in real life.
Yeah, they seem like they might. I wonder if they
They would bump
fight.
heads.
Yeah,
they
bump
would
heads.
fight. I was trying to be nice, but you said it. Yeah, fight.
Yeah. And but I'm
You did it
but
on
what
me.
huh? Right.
You said it on me.
Yep. Exactly. But what I did see when I was looking at them on the date is like this, and this is something we said at the beginning, but this experience is so good for both of them. They're going to come out learning so much about themselves.
Yeah.
I can just see that with them. So I love it anyway.
Likewise.
Ooh, Sydney. Get it, girl. Get it, girl. You better get it, girl. Because there's no way I would be in the same room with Phil. Yes, I could talk to Frank, but Phil, what's up? What's up? I'm not mad at none of it.
See, here's the thing.
Come on.
That's why she's just like Frank. She knows how to play the game to get things that she wants.
I'm not mad at it.
But how do you act when it's not a game and it's real life?
Well, she was flustered. Because Phil done came in with that body and that Brooklyn, with his queen swag, and she was like, "Oh,
that's the first time I've seen Phil act like that."
Sydney's giving Shiloh a run for her money.
Well, that flirting.
Period.
That was a masterclass in how to flirt. And that's also a masterclass in where you have sex with somebody on the first date, for sure.
Oh my
Cameras
God, I would have been in trouble.
Anybody in that type of energy, it would have been, we are sleeping together on the first date. That's fine, because I know a lot of people that slept with each other on the first date and they're married still and they've been together forever.
The only man I was ever engaged to, we slept together on the first date.
Because you feel it.
Wild.
You feel
it was
that
wild.
Like, that chemistry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it did feel a little like more like lustful than it did like emotional capacity and depth and such.
I don't know.
But then I was going to say toward the end, I started to see more. And then I kind of saw their eyes light up like, oh, I see you. And I was like, wow. Oh, I see you. And it's kind of like, maybe Phil is a little...
Something's popping off.
Not so light-skinned, a little darker shades of gray. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Sydney, I think, would definitely enjoy that type of situation as well.
It looks like it could be a lot of fun. We don't know about, I'm going to say, I don't know about their longevity yet because we haven't seen them, but I do feel first of all, he seems genuinely like a good man. I don't know if it's just his answers are so on point, but to even think of certain things, you have to have some alignment with, being a good person.
He's
and
self-aware.
I think he sees her.
Absolutely.
So it was, but that's what makes it so juicy. It's lusty, but I like talking to the girl. Like, I'm trying to see what's up.
I don't think he thought she existed.
No,
I don't think he thought a baddie like that actually had like
depth.
the capacity to have the depth that he needs to actually flourish in a relationship, because that's the kind of couple you see. You see somebody like Phil, who's a handsome man, but with like that trophy.
Mm-hmm.
Because those type of men are really capable and able of handling a woman like that.
Yes.
I don't know. That just snapped through a whole situation in there.
And you know what really turned me on about him too?
That was a wrench in the system.
That was a wrench. I don't know what's going to happen. Because I was seeing him and Shiloh.
And now that I'm seeing how well he takes to that, I don't know if Shiloh is the right match for him. I don't think she's going to be enough energy for something he needs.
Something else.
They might be too similar as well. And other people, like they might be too much likeness.
Will the fire be there?
Correct.
Oh my goodness. I got excited talking about that. I'd love to see it. Okay. Mm-hmm. one thing that definitely turned me on about Phil in that conversation is he said he had a lot of God kids. So that tells me a lot about his character, that people trust him enough to take care. Because a godparent is someone, if something happens to me, take care of my baby. So they see something in him for him to have a lot of God kids. They trust him around their children. That is like,
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And he's getting his daddy training. I love it.
Oh, I think of all the guys, even more than Walter, I think Phil is really ready.
He's daddy. He's somebody's daddy.
Mm-hmm.
He's daddy.
Yeah, he's ready.
He's
daddy.
husband. He's daddy. He's man. Oh, Lord have mercy.
You know what I think too, what I really, really appreciated, and this isn't to discriminate against anybody. So before any of these cancel culture, aka I need therapy, try to have a conversation about this shit. Yes, I just said aka need therapy, cancel culture.
That's what it is.
And I'll say it again if you need me to. I really appreciate the light feminine energy that Sydney exudes.
She's so cute.
And I think that threatens women like Zadia and such. And that's why they want to go off on her and they don't like her. And I wish women could just accept the fact that their femininity looks different sometimes, and that's okay. And you don't have to hate on somebody else's to make yourself feel okay with who you are. Men do the same kind of situation.
That's a good point.
But if I were a straight man, it'd be really hard not to fall in love with Sydney.
I'm looking at her the same way.
I feel like out of all the men, I'm most like Phil, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like I could see how they could work, because if I were a straight man, it'd be impossible not to fall in love with Sydney.
She gives it all. She gives bubbly. She gives cute. She smiles a lot. She has a brain. She keeps herself together. It's done. It is what it is. It is. She comes in and crushes it, and I can see how that annoys women.
Yep.
I get it, but like you said, there's different femininity, and who's going to be attracted to Sydney might not be who Zadia wants. Some guy might look at Sydney and be like, I think that's all cute, but that's too much for me. Or
100%.
I want this or that. And that's fine. We're supposed to be able to be excited about our individuality.
I feel like Shiloh might just need to date somebody a little older too.
I get that vibe from her. Because she seems like... It's like, I feel like I could go kick it with Sydney and just have a blast. Like we would just have a different kind of fun than like with a Shiloh, which is not bad, but Shiloh does feel a little more homey, a little more grounded, a little more not turn up, and I don't want to say turn up, we're not kids, but you know me, there is still those moments in me where I'll be like, oh my God, the sun came up and we're still out. Like, so that extra like zest is something that I see in Sydney. So I think that would add more colors and more fire and more fun in a different way than what Shiloh has to offer. Her man's probably going to be a little bit more chill. Like you said, older maybe.
Yeah.
Because
I understand that, because I feel like I would need that too. I would need someone who's a little. I'm not like you. I can't be out till 4 in the morning. I'm tired. Like,
oh my God,
I really like going to bed
every day, but I'll have a moment when the moment.
You love to go to
itself,
sleep in the wee hours in the morning.
I do.
I love me like. All right, it's 9:30. Let's start brushing our teeth. Let's get ready for bed. And 10 o'clock, we in bed.
Yeah, and at 9 p.m., I'm like, can we watch? I want to watch a movie. Like, if I was dating somebody, I'd be like, can we take a drive to the beach? I'm down for a late nightcap. I'm down
once
for
in a
movie.
while, but I could not handle it all the time.
Yeah,
it's Sydney's, going out and promoting. I'm exhausted. This thing.
I can't do the club. We're not doing the clubs and all that. So that's too much. Yeah, no, not all that. But just moments. I guess I can see why you say Shiloh. Shiloh has a different level of maturity. Her level of maturity looks different than Sydney's. So. Yeah. So I love that. Well, I mean, dang, we done got all up into everybody's business today. We spent an hour on that. What did you think? Just now, I do have a little Twitter conversations that we can dive into, so we can see what the Twitter gang is talking about. I'll bring those up last.
Can we hold those for a second, because I have a couple more things to talk about the Gentleman Lounge.
I was gonna say, let's talk about that first. Tell me.
Look at you.
What's your thoughts? Yes.
Aisha and Dante. When did that happen?
Oh my God, I don't know, but he was serious. He was really serious. He was serious. He was like, we've been on the phone more. Like
I think his energy could handle someone like hers.
I think they would have a lot of fun, and they would be a Brady Bunch situation because I'd be like, what, 6 kids?
And she doesn't want more. I don't think he wants more. That might really, really work.
Might work.
And try to just fly through this.
Yeah, we're not. I'm not in a rush, but we can. Yeah.
Why?
Feeling Aisha. He did mention the start and stop with Tasia also, so that was interesting.
Yeah, I don't think Tasia's been comfortable.
No,
I don't think she's ever been comfortable. It's hard to judge that.
Yeah.
This is. Why did Corny literally do this? 3, I think. Now, if you are dating somebody to be ready for love, to marry, partnership, genuine connection.
Right.
When the host asks you how many engagements has she been in, there should be no looking up and thinking about it. It would be like 3.
It's been the topic.
That should be at the forefront of your mind. But you keep always acting like a child still. You be looking up and being like, 3. Like, what?
Where are you in this? I'm so
you're
lost.
Not, well, we know. Anyways, I just had to say that. It's just so indicative of his headspace and his maturity when it comes to love.
I don't understand it.
I'm just like, can we just stop this narrative with him and Camille already? It's great TV, but like, I think I'm done.
And then even Walter coming to his defense, like, can't chop Camille because yes, we can.
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
There's nothing to see here.
No.
Because I would have then rather kept Tasia and kept her in the mix with some things because I felt like she still wanted to be there than just drag this thing out with Camille and Cornelius. I would
have rather seen Tasia and Sean and force them to have more, like, see more of, not force, but put them in the same setting more often to see where that like develops than to see this tired Camille and Corny fake situation.
I'm tired.
I would really love to see Sean and Tasia kind of be able to dive a little deeper and see if they could work each other's kinks out together, because they're both obviously reflecting that.
You nailed it. Isn't that?
That's what the show's for. That's the purpose of the show. Yeah. But it's also TV, so I get it. I ain't talking shit. I'm saying it.
I do. So I've always seen the little chemistry between Walter and Moomin since their Stop and Smell the Flowers date, and I like how he shared that she's climbing, up
1A,
in his
1B.
heart. Yeah, 1A, 1B, and I get how that's happening, but I do think Walter needs to be real with himself. I mean, I don't see Moomin and Walter. I don't think they're a good match.
They could date. They could date for like 6 months to a year, like, and then they'd be done.
That's a waste of time.
Yeah, 100%.
At 46, I need him to. I wonder if he's nervous about, because that's what I'm saying. You're 46, and I know he went through a lot, so I give him grace there.
And you get comfortable.
Not easy. Yeah, but is he gonna be a playboy forever? I don't know, Sabrina. He knows her enough. Like, you can't play with her.
Yeah.
So are you ready for love, Walter?
I think he is. I think he is.
But does he? I question just a little teeny bit, because sometimes the guys like that are a little more. I'm not saying he's a playboy, but he has a little, whatever about him. When you're faced with a woman who's going to take you out of habits and elements and stuff that you're used to doing and challenge that. Sometimes I think being faced with that is like, oh, am I ready to love? Like, because there are going to be some changes he's going to have to make, some sacrifices and some things he's going to have to give up if he's really going to be the right man for Sabrina. He can't play you can't play over here.
Right.
And why would you want to? If you care about her as a person and you know what she's been through, you either know this is what you can do or you can't. I don't know. Or maybe I'm reading too much into it. We shall see.
I think it's a great question to have.
Frank said he's pressed on Sid as much as she is on him, and him and Moomin have feelings. That's a good one. We're gonna have to see. How that goes.
I'm looking forward to that, TV.
I'm excited about the packing the bags and all of the sauce and the heat.
Oh, I can't wait. That's going to be some fire with Aisha and Zadia again. Just
oh my goodness,
triggering each other.
They are triggering each other.
It's
And they're both
fun.
very strong women. So that's going to be really interesting to see. I want to even know why they're beefing in the first place. But it's hard to go toe to toe with a Gemini from the Bronx.
Look,
But
I'm
Zadia,
not
if
trying to.
anybody, yeah.
She's the one to do it, and I'm not trying to
Yeah.
take sides, but I feel like Aisha's just calling Zadia on her shit, and Zadia doesn't want to hear it. And I think Zadia is going to continue to fight that, and Aisha's like, "Yo, you're taking like I don't know. I'm just gonna take a leap of faith and say I'm Team Aisha already. I just have this feeling, just from what I've seen on the
From what
interaction
you've seen.
before.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested. I want to see what is the reason? What is the reason? So yeah, it's gonna be a very exciting next episode. Oh my god, that's not what I want. Let's have some fun and go to the Twitter gang and see what the Twitter is buzzing about the people. We've got some things being said. And let's tune in. What is this right here? I don't know what's up first. Reese says, Moomin and Sydney are exceptionally confident and not at all catty. It's actually refreshing to see two women who understand the assignment that on a dating show, your love interests are dating multiple people. Tasia, on the other hand, was pressed and stressed. Reese, we hear you. I mean, I guess we're all kind of seeing the same thing, you know?
Reese, you're accurate. Like, I think at least you sound on point.
Right.
You say it in like 2 sentences, and it takes me like 7 hours to talk about it. So yeah, accurate as fuck.
And we discussed some of that, you know, and it is what it is. Everybody's on a different journey.
Yes. Not everybody's equipped for this type of show. I think Tasia is realizing she's not equipped for this, and that's okay. I don't know if I'm equipped for a show like this. I get it.
I'd be scared. I don't know what's going to come out of me. I don't know if I'm ready for that type of environment. But even when I said that, then a day later, I was like, but maybe I could. It might be exactly what I need. I'm on the fence. This is the Gemini talking. Yeah. Like, can she do it? Can she not?
Hey, I'm not even Gemini, but I feel you on that too. I think like either way, it'd be good.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, not mad at it. I guess maybe we'll find out.
What else is the Twitterverse saying?
Twitterverse.
Yeah, maybe you'll find out.
Fleet Nick says, Walter, you are 45. You probably test driven enough Toyotas, Lincolns, Mini Coopers, and Shark loan cars and still ain't secured nobody's title. Please hang up that you have to have sex to determine compatibility and longevity because it has not worked. He went off. Oh, how do I get this?
Dang, he just like he bitch
he
slapped Walter.
Read him. He kind of read
just
him just
bitch
now.
slapped Walter.
I'm not mad. That's what I'm saying. Like, again, I'm not mad at sex. I love sex. I think sex is so healthy and important. But if you lead with that and you're like, I gotta have my sex and my sex and my sex and my sex,
yeah, it won't take you anywhere. And I mean, unless you're capable of moving forward through that with the intention of the sex as a part of it. But I think like with Moomin particularly, I think he's just sexually kind of wants to conquer that mountain because it's not accessible.
And that's not safe. No. It's not safe. Not for what people are looking for, but you know. I don't know what to say about that. I think that guy read him enough. That was enough.
There is nothing to say.
We got another one on Twitter. Gang. Let's see. Mila. Someone is lying. Walter was not with this woman. And then you see Own Unscripted said he likes a challenge. Even Own chimed in but people was like,
yeah.
Was that really Walter's ex?
No way.
Not for 1 second do I believe it was.
No.
She's an amazing, I loved her personality, but no.
Yeah, not even a millisecond.
Lord have mercy. Chocolate Girl 6 says Cornelius and Camille need to self-eliminate and focus on them if they are together. We with you, Chocolate Girl 6.
Yeah, Chocolate
Go
Girl.
do this at home. What are we doing on Ready to Love? I don't want to see any more dry interactions with them trying to figure out nothing or something. What are they doing?
And it's not really serving the ideology of the process to get to love, which I think is the whole meaning behind the show.
Self-eliminate.
I think Chocolate Girl, what was her name?
Chocolate Girl 6.
Chocolate Girl 6 is probably on the same page with us. Like, they should have been eliminated a long time ago. Long
Yeah.
time ago.
Because there were other people in the house that could have, like you said, worked out some kinks and maybe really found something. So I hope by the end of this thing, in retrospect, we are going to have full clarity as to why they've kept them this long, because it's just dry for me. And not because of they're bad people, but it's just, what are we looking at here? I'm over
Probably
it.
just for the drama, for them to actually be like, yeah, you're not my person. Well,
Oh my God, I'm
we
over
always
it.
need
We
that
already
one, but
know
that's
that.
going to
We're
happen
done.
enough, right?
Yeah, I cannot deal. We got a couple of more people from Twitter Gang that are talking on hashtag Ready to Love.
Ooh.
Ty, I don't know if anyone on this cast is actually searching for love. Most of the cast are actors, singers, promoters, personal trainers, producers, etc. This is why the connections seem shallow and unauthentic. This season should be called Ready to Network.
Damn.
Ty,
Damn, Ty. You're going all the
was
way
like,
off,
bing, bing,
Ty.
bing.
She said, whoosh.
She's like,
you know, that thought has crossed my mind as well, Ty.
Man.
It's crossed my mind as well. I do disagree with you, though. I do think some of them are really there to be ready for love.
And
I think
actors and
some of them
personal
are.
trainers need love too.
Absolutely. And they make better TV than, the latter, which is not.
Yeah. Because if they didn't have any sauce or good looks or this and that, would anybody even really watch?
No, and to be fair, too, actors and promoters and all the things you just named as well, they are very self-aware. You have to be to do that. So they're gonna, bring the sauce.
Yeah. So, I guess it is what it is,
Yep.
Last but not least, going to Twitter to see what the streets are saying about hashtag Ready to Love. Kelsey says, Sydney is deaf gorge, but I don't like how Frank referred to Sydney as the beauty, as though Moomin isn't stunningly beautiful. Miss Mamas is the moment. And then Sydney chimed in and said, Moomin is gorgeous inside and out. I tell her almost every day. And Kelsey replied, we love to see it. And we get that. We get that from the sister wives.
Yes. Sister wives.
So I love that this process didn't make them catty against each other. I couldn't even see that with them anyway. So
no, they're beyond that. They're not going to feed into that negativity.
Yeah, for what? There's no,
No, they recognize each other. They see each other.
Sabrina's in the house.
Oh, Sabrina! Oh my God, we love you.
Girl, we are so glad you are still in the game, honey.
Thank God. Well, I don't know. Like, let's be honest. They just gave you that last little moment to make some good TV today. But just round of applause to how you handle that, like the boss woman that you are. Not letting these men try to sway a narrative. And it's just like, let's be frank. Let's just be frank.
Correct. Like, she was like, and you know what? Even in the last thing, I love, Sabrina, how you were like, Frank was like, okay, so I'm going to try to have this roundabout conversation and try to get this to her. She's like, just tell me. I feel like get to the point, because you up here dancing around like, I need you to talk to me. Come on.
That's the only way to do it. Instead of sitting there nervous and like a lot of the people have been, men and women, just awkward, because they all know what they're getting into. They know what this date is going to be at this time period in the filming of the show. So let's talk about it.
Let's tell me
let's talk about it. Let's make real good TV. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's tango.
Exactly.
It's not slow.
She said no smoke.
Yes.
Girl, we were talking about you earlier, because it's like sometimes people like to call that crazy, this or that. No, you need to keep it real. And I think you are real. And people are used to doing a little bit too much dancing. So if you guys, come on, man, like
your self-awareness, the way you answer that is just, it's like, I don't know if you heard earlier, but you and Aisha and Shiloh are like what I want to aspire to be like in life. The three of you together, you have such incredible qualities, and individually, I want to be like all of you, but you just are, you're a queen. It's such a pleasure to watch you move through this. It's inspiring.
We love it. Thank you so much for popping in.
Thank you for listening.
I love that. Oh, we love you, girl. Can't wait to see what happens next episode. Lord have mercy. Y'all are traveling, we're just gonna have to see, but I'm so glad. Look, she said they can call you crazy when they can't think of anything else to say. I mean, expand the vocabulary, folks, because this isn't crazy. This is adulting.
And sing, like literally, like that's it.
You're not gonna play over here.
That's the easy way out. That is the easiest way out, to not take accountability or search deeper and have something really meaningful to say, right?
Is she crazy? Is she controlling?
Sabrina,
The ex said,
that's why we probably love you so much, is because I hear the same shit all the time. And it's always those people that are just, for lack of words, less aware, that like to say it, is because they can't handle the depth of what it takes like to actually think like you. So they just want to think it's crazy when it's actually pretty sane.
Yeah, and like you said, it's easy to throw it off. And then when somebody is challenging you for whatever reason, we take challenge as control. And it's like, no, I'm still an individual that's going to speak my piece and what my desires are. And if you're mature and can match that, you are going to listen and respond. You're not gonna,
Yep.
So, and
Plain
it has
and
to
simple.
be that playtime is over.
Yep.
Playtime is over.
Oh, I just got chills. I can't wait to see it.
Well, you know us, we're going to be here after
Absolutely.
the show to have the after discussion about everything you guys have going on. We're learning so much about dating and even ways that we can be better in our own lives. So, I mean, I love it. And I'm with you, Sabrina. I've been through too much to be silenced. Those say I can't. It doesn't work.
100%, especially in our age demographic and who we've grown and evolved to intentionally. Why would we hold our voice back when it is so much more beneficial for everybody involved to hear us? So,
and where do you get when you're being fake? It's even something Sean said on the date with Sabrina. Like, I've bypassed what I actually wanted and what I actually thought and been in something too long for what? Like, it's time to get to it. Are we getting, we got to get to it. It's just no time for games. That's what all the learning and other relationships were for, to refine our process and move forward in a healthy and adult way.
And
so let's get it.
This is what love is.
Absolutely.
This is love.
Yeah. If you can't do this now, gosh, what are you going to do after marriage when it comes time to have these tough conversations and really navigate each other?
When it really gets serious.
Because you're not going to be able to.
You gonna call me crazy?
Yeah. And what? Do what? Walk away like no.
And what? That's it. That's all you got.
That's all you got.
Well, thankfully, people like us would never put ourselves in that position in the first place to even deal with something like that.
And that's what all the vetting and speaking up for yourself is for.
Nowadays, I know in my youth, I did it all the time.
Oh my gosh.
Made choices like that all the time. Because we're highly sensitive people. We love to see the beauty in people because we do. That's the first thing we see.
Right.
And that's okay. But, the older you get, you can move accordingly a little more intentionally and for the better of everybody, right?
That's right. Inhale life, exhale love.
Yes. Can I steal that? Can I put that on my Instagram handle?
Like, what more is there to say after that?
I want to put that on my next post. The great prophet Sabrina. Inhale life, exhale love. That's going to be my next post for sure. I'm going to tag you.
Too classy to be crazy, Sabrina.
Yep. I love it.
I love that, girl. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was such a fun show. We always tell you, we always reciprocate the love. You be retweeting, we be tweeting and going in. So it's beautiful. Looking forward to next episode. We're going to have some fun.
Yep.
Yes. So, yes,
thank
you. This has been an amazing episode for us. We covered everything. This is great. We're going to be back next week because we got to talk this trip. Lots of drama going down. It looks saucy.
I can't wait. I keep getting hot flashes thinking about it.
I'm just like, oh my God.
I can't wait. All right, everybody. Until next time, we're going to try to do it next Friday.
Yeah, right after the show. We're going to shoot for that and see how that works.
So we'll see y'all later.
Thank you so much. See y'all next week.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye, Sabrina.